Welcome back to We Are Tottenham TV, the only place to be for the pre-match pump-up. I'm joined by an elite panel of three handsome young men today. We've got Jimbo to one side of me, and then we've got Nicholas, the #1 founder of the Emerson Royale fan club, and Jose, the #1 founder of the Best Predictions League in the world. So, Jimbo, first of all, how you doing?
Very good, thank you. Just watching the protest on the YouTube.
Yeah, looks like good numbers. Nick, how are you?
I'm all right. I just thought could be the youngest on the panel for a change. That makes a change.
You actually are. You actually are.
Yeah, but not the youngest looking.
I thought I'd come down. I thought I'd come down and join. You know, you little people on the pump up.
Oh, ouch! Yes, we're not quite at the watch along status just yet. But thank you for joining us, peasants. And Jose, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm all good. It's a lovely sunny day out where I am. Not that I've been out, but I presume it's like that for the whole country at the moment. And when that shiny disc comes out, people start smiling a bit more. Football gets thrown to the side, and people say hello. People will open doors for each other. All the pleasantries come out. People are just generally happier when the sun comes out. So yeah, I'm all good. Thank you.
Let's hope that people generally win football matches when they're Tottenham and the sun comes out. But just to show you, We Are Tottenham TV, Ben is streaming live for the protest. I just wanted to show everyone, if you wanted to see what's going on, he's streaming at the same time. But there are good numbers there today. I think a lot of people were concerned that the first one was built up so much. Would there be good numbers? But there does seem to be a really good turnout. So big up to everyone who's taken the time out on their Sunday to go and protest for Levy out, Enoch out, Ange out, whatever they're protesting for. But we have more important things to talk about today because it's getting harder and harder and harder and harder and harder to pump up for these shows where we keep getting delivered the dross that we get delivered week in, week out on a regular basis. But we're here and we're going to pump up as best we can. Obviously, if Southampton lose today, they will be relegated, and it will be the earliest relegation in Premier League history. Why are you laughing?
Can you get William to get the dog in? All I can hear him bark in, and it comes through your one for a second bark. He's in the garden.
William. He's not answering me, Jim. So
I've got the dog on my lap.
Southampton. Can you just quickly get the dog in? Thank you. Southampton, like I say, could get relegated today. They're having an absolute nightmare season. Jose, are you concerned, like some Spurs fans, that Dr. Tottenham might make an appearance today?
Am I concerned or am I bothered? Is what I should be asking myself. I honestly want him to make changes today, and not for the sake of Thursday's game. I just think some players have been awful, were awful against Chelsea, have been awful all season. So regardless whether they're going to be deemed starters on Thursday, I just want him to change the side up. And if you change the side up completely today, revamp the team, if things ain't going well, you can empty your bench, so to speak. I'm hoping. I don't want to say too much because every time I say a lot, Dr. Tottenham does appear. It does. Because I remember. Yeah, I am the problem, Nick. It's me. We've lost to teams like Ipswich in that when I said, now we'll bury them. And I've gone 4-0 and said we'll bury them. And we've ended up losing. So today, I just want to see us put in a performance, a cohesive performance. And I'm hoping, can't promise anyone in the chat and who's watching, but I'm hoping Dr. Tottenham is having a day off, is what I'm hoping.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I think he'll make some changes today. That's my predicted lineup. Vicario, Porro, Romero, Davis to come in for Van der Ven, Udogie, Sarr, Benny, Bergvall, Johnson, Solanke and Tell. Nick, what do you think? Do you think he'll make changes, less changes, more changes? What's your thoughts?
I think he'll make more changes. I think Udogie will be rested. I think Archie Gray maybe at centre-back and Davis at left-back. I think that, Maddison, Son. I think unfortunately we'll see Brennan Johnson from the start, and I'd like to give him a go. I think he's shown far more in the few minutes that he's had compared to an Archie Gray, let's just say. We'd like to see him. He's obviously the youngest scorer in Europa League. Ange, as we've seen all season, will do what he wants, say what he wants, be deluded how he wants. We just need to win. If we lose today, we would have lost to all three teams that have been promoted. After we kind of got away with one yesterday, but Wolves are only 2 points behind us, and we play them next weekend. So, we need a win. And that's the most important thing, because otherwise, realistically, we're probably going to finish 17th, and that's not what we want. But look, if we're going to, everything points to Thursday. So let's get, how many times have we said, let's get this game won by half time, relax, and
Exactly that. Jimbo, what do you think today? Do you think he's going to make some changes? Obviously, Thursday, our whole season hinges on that game. So do you see any more changes than what I put? Vicario, some people are saying Kinski might play. People calling out for Mikey Moore in the chat. What do you think?
Well, I mean, with Ange, you don't know, do you? You don't know. He's so unpredictable with his teams. But, I mean, I don't really care who plays. If we lose to these, then everybody needs to be sacked. Everybody. Ange, the Levy, the fans. Everybody needs to be sacked. If we lose to Southampton, because they are absolute dire, if we lose to these, I don't know where we are, honestly. So, but I mean, I don't know what he's going to do. I think he'll bring Davis in. He said Romero had a bit of cramp. Not Romero, Van der Ven had a bit of cramp. So maybe arrest him. I think Sarr will start.
Probably Basuma as well, I reckon, Jim, because
it's a good chance. Basuma, he's right. Yeah. I think Bergvall will start, Johnson will start. I think Solanke will start, and probably Tell as well.
Yeah.
So, but with this guy, you don't know. I mean, I'm kind of lost when we predict teams with him.
For me, I would go with today. I'd go with Kinski in goal. I'd go right back of Porro, centre backs Romero, Davis, Spence on the left. My midfield would be Gray, Bergvall, and Sarr, and up front I would play Mikey Moore, Tell, and Odegaard.
The thing is,
Jose, empty the bench.
If he changes it too much, there's a massive chance we're going to draw or lose. Because every time he changes the team massively, we never do well. We look so dysfunctional.
But we look dysfunctional with the players that he plays with normally.
No, look, if he starts quite a regular team, it don't look so bad. But when he changes loads, We'll just
It doesn't look so bad, Jimbo, but we play so bad. That's the issue. Now we only have what, Richarlison and Timo Werner, which for me don't get anywhere near this starting 11. They're the only ones left that are injured, right? So the injuries is an excuse now. I mean, the other night against Chelsea, we looked like we hadn't even played as a team, or those players had never, they haven't been together for a week and everything else, right? So look, we just need to. What we need to do is we need to win. We need to win comfortably. I mean, I'd say a clean sheet, but this is Spurs. If to build momentum going into Thursday, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, not very pleasant reading. Only the top flight bottom 4 teams have lost more Premier League games this season than Spurs, who have been beaten on 16 occasions. It's their most top flight losses in a season since they were defeated 19 times in 2003, 2004 under Glenn Hoddle and David Pleat. None of the stats read very well for Ange Postecoglou or Tottenham, but I'm of the view if we can't beat Southampton, I mean, they are terrible.
That's what I said, if we lose to these. But look, you know what? I said to Kate yesterday, right, I've been watching Tottenham over 50 years, and I can honestly say that I can't remember a more depressing season. Maybe there was one and I forgot it, but this season's been so just made me feel shit and made 99% of the fans feel shit, and yet we can still win the Europa League. I mean, it don't make sense, does it? I'm not saying we're going to win it. I'm saying we can win it.
Yeah,
it's been such a horrible season. You go in every weekend and you're not believing you're going to win.
I mean, look, there's still only 3 teams that have scored more goals than us, which is mad, right?
I know.
And that's why the sort of Ange sympathisers, if you like, are kind of saying it's an anomaly this season, but I tend to disagree.
For me, the season we got relegated was really, really poor. The season we got relegated, and there has been times since I've been supporting Tottenham that we have been bad. I think what heightens this season is that back in the days when we were really, really bad, there was no social media. And now that you've got social media, this heightens this and it magnifies it by a million. I mean, back in the day when we got relegated and when we had some poor seasons, you'd have a chat about it, but you wouldn't repeat the chat day in, day out. So, yeah, it's been magnified so much because we've got social media now. But we've had some really shocking seasons as well in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't get your phones out around Ange.
Yeah.
I wonder what's going to happen today.
I'm going to just touch on briefly on that. Is there any way that No, not particularly the phone thing, but I mean, Jose, I'll come to you first. Do you think there's any way at all, even if we go unbeaten for the rest of the season and win the Europa League, can Ange repair this relationship with the supporters, or is it done?
To me, I will say again, I'm going to say social media, right? Because to me, it doesn't matter where you plant your flag, whether you plant your flag to the left or you plant your flag to the right. The people that plant their flag to the left, everything that he does gets magnified by a million, right? So, and the people that plant their flag to the right would just take it, it probably might have been this, or they'll see it differently. So it's just social media for me. Again, he did cut his ear. He gave an answer to why he did that. The people that plant to the left say he's out of order, blah blah blah. He's got to go. He's wrong. He's a wrong and all that. Other people who plant their flag to the right may turn around and say, "Well, it's reasonable him asking the supporters to support the team and cheer them on." So, yeah, there's different ways of looking at it. Oh my God, he hasn't rested no one, has he? Near enough.
Well.
He's not rested anyone.
Oh, Jose, you do make me laugh.
I got the back 4 right, so I'm happy.
The team is out. We've got Big Vic in goal with Porro, Romero, Davis, and Spence at the back. So he has left Van der Ven out. Bergvall, Bentancur, and Madders in midfield with Johnson, Solanke, and Sonny. I'm not sure
I
what to
did
say.
he's so unpredictable, Kate. This guy.
And on the bench, we've got Kinski, Udogi, Van der Ven, Odegaard, Tell, Richarlison makes the bench, Saba, Suma, and Gray. I mean, Jimbo, we've got our most important game of the season coming up. I was expecting some more changes. What's your thoughts?
I mean, look, he wants to win this game, I suppose, get the good feel factor. If beating Southampton's going to give people that, but I mean, I don't know what to say really. I don't know what to say with this guy. We're picking the teams. I don't.
Well, Jimbo, if we're not 2 or 3-0 up at half time, that stadium is going to turn very quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think for me, yeah. I mean, look, I said that'll probably be the back four. I'm surprised around, Maddison, because any chance he gets, Ange seems to drop him. And Richarlison back on the bench. Whoopie do.
The season saved.
At the expense of Mike Moore.
The pigeon. I'd rather he was with the rest of the pigeons up on that roof of the stadium, flying around, rather than anywhere near that pitch. But look, I mean, again, Archie Gray. It just goes to show, if he's rotating, he puts Davis in instead of him. He doesn't have a chance in midfield. When are we going to see Archie Gray in midfield? I don't know, but I'd have dropped Son. I'd have dropped. Yeah, well, look, it is what it is. We'll see what Tottenham we get. And like Jimbo said, there's no point predicting anymore, because you never know what he's going to do, right? So,
do you know? I've completely forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah, Archie Gray. Guna was talking to me the other day, and they said to me, if I was him, I'd put a transfer request in, because he gets called upon when there's injuries. As soon as players come back, he's forgotten about. But I mean, Jose, what's your thoughts on the lineup and Archie Gray?
For me, it's more than Archie Gray. For me, Mikey Moore, Richarlison's come back in. Mikey Moore's not on the subs bench now. Today, I don't know what the Southampton lineup is, but if we're courting someone called Tyler Diblin, right, and apparently we're all out going after Tyler Diblin, what does that say for Mikey Moore? Because they're similar ages. Tyler Diblin plays for Southampton, and and Mikey Moore, if they're going to buy him, then Mikey Moore, what chance and what pathway has he got? So I'm more on the side. Diblin is playing. Look, I'm more on the side of, why is Mikey Moore not being given a chance? All right, Archie Gray. I don't know. I'm lost with Archie Gray. He's turned around, spoken so well about Archie Gray and how Archie Gray's done well playing in all these different positions and possibly not in natural positions. Well, if that's the case, then stick your money where your mouth is by saying that, because at the end of the day, you've got to give him a chance in midfield. You said he's done really well. And to me, okay, it's been a poor season. It's not probably the best environment to be in because we keep losing so many games, right? But Mikey Moore must be scratching his head. And Mikey Moore must be watching some of these players and thinking, all right, I've only just come to the club, but I know I can do a better job than them. Or I'll put more effort in than what they do. And it must be a soul destroying. It just goes to prove that Ange, people said to me that Ange does play youngsters, is what I was told. I never saw the evidence at Celtic, but people said he does. And I've not seen him play youngsters at all. Only through injuries, when we had 14 players out, did youngsters get given a chance. The only one that he seems to have stuck with at the moment is Bergvall. But then he stuck with Gray at the beginning for injuries, but he didn't put Bergvall on. Now, through the injured players have all come back, Gray's not getting a chance, Bergvall is. But Bergvall's earned his right to play. But I think Gray has as well, if that makes any sense.
Yep, I agree. There's a few names on the Southampton team that we know. Obviously, Ramsdale, Walker Peters sounds familiar, Bednarek, Diblin. Anyone there? I love their kit, by the way. As a girl, I do love their kit. But anyone there, Nick? Just have to put that comment in.
Only girls are allowed to like the Southampton kit. No one else.
I quite like it, if I'm honest.
It's a very girly comment, but I love the kit. But
I think it's a fantastic kit.
Yeah. Anyone there, Nick, that you think, we got to keep an eye on him?
Well, we know what's going to happen. Walker Peters against Porro. We know how that's going to end up. So look, I think if you're Southampton, you come here, you sit back, you don't try and go toe to toe or whatever that means anymore with this with Ange ball or whatever it is. But I think they just sit back and wait to hit us on the counter. Look, obviously, is Harwood Bellis. He's the young kid that's going out with Roy. He's engaged to Roy Keane's daughter, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
So from who was at Man City. So look, it's he's one to watch. Obviously, Diblin. Is he the one that's going to put on a show and put himself in that window for the summer, probably, because obviously they're going and down and everything else. And look, obviously Walker Peters as well, which probably means he's coming back for homegrown quota in the summer on a free. So I wouldn't be surprised at that, right? But look, we shouldn't be worried. This is probably the worst Premier League team ever, arguably. That or Derby, right? So they're going to just about get over 11 points. I hope it doesn't happen today, because could you imagine? We can relegate them, and it doesn't happen. But look, that team, even with that pigeon up front instead of Solanke, should be enough to beat this team. But look, it's gonna be interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if Southampton actually score first.
Yeah, nor me. And I think they've lost more games by going 1-0 up than any team, or they're one of them. Jimbo, a stat that I saw today, that Spurs have kept just one clean sheet in the past 8 league games when Romero and Van der Ven have started together and have lost each of the last 3. Well, obviously they're not starting together today, but I think Nick, when he was on the show on Monday, said that aside from his blistering pace, Van der Ven's not offering a lot at the minute. Romero looks to me like he does not give a monkeys about Tottenham, that he's just literally using us as a bit of a training camp ready for Argentina. Davis has been one of our best defenders, but are you concerned that, I think Romero will go in the summer. I know you think he'll sign a new contract, but our defence suddenly seems to be a little bit shaky.
I'm not convinced he's going to sign a new contract, Kate. Not convinced. Look, if you're talking about Real Madrid and Barcelona, is that who he's looking at going to? If they were watching him, would they buy him? Of course they wouldn't.
No, that's true. They would if they saw him playing for Argentina. It's a completely different player.
No, I'm not concerned today, not at all, because it's Southampton. And look, if we start saying we're concerned about playing Southampton, then I don't know what to say. We shouldn't be in this league. We should be relegated. We shouldn't even be sitting here discussing about losing to Southampton. Not at all. No, so I'm not worried. But I am at a total. I'm at a total loss with this season. Right, I've been watching football a long, long time, not just Tottenham, all different football. Right, and I'm lost. I can't get my head round if the players are playing for him, or I watch some games and I see some of the players just ambling about, not trying to win the ball back. And then you see another game where they're all fighting. It's just I can't get my head around this season. Some games they look like they want to win and they're fighting for each other, and in other games it looks like they just don't give a toss. Right? And you've got a manager that's coming out talking. I don't know what he talks about half the time anymore. Right? And we got a chairman that never shows himself or explains anything to the fans. I'm just at a loss with Tottenham Hotspur at the minute. I don't know where we're going. I don't know what we're doing. I'm at a total loss with it all, Kate. Mm-hmm. I just don't know where to start with it. No one from this club, right, talks about our club except for the manager. You see other clubs, right? I watch other clubs, like look, and you see the chairman's giving interviews on Talk Sport and on Sky Sports, and you see other people from the club that are talking, but you don't never see it with Tottenham. You just see one person, the manager. And I'm at a loss with Tottenham Hotspur at the minute. I really am.
Well, at the end of the day, the manager is paid to be the forefront, and that's what he gets paid for. And if someone chooses to stick a phone in his face and film him, that's what happens when you're in the public eye, I'm afraid. It all part and parcel of earning millions per
I'm
year.
not talking about that, Kate. I'm talking about our club is in such disarray.
Yeah.
We're just I honestly, as a football fan, right, not just a Tottenham Hotspur fan, as a football fan, cannot see what's happening at our club. I can't see where we're going, right? You know, I'm just at a loss. Let's all be honest, right? How is Ange Postecoglou still our manager?
No idea.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Have you ever known anything like this at a football club where a manager's lost this many games, right, and he hasn't been sacked?
Yeah. I mean, a few people in the chat are saying, oh, bloody hell, he's only here. Ange Postecoglou, g'day, mate. Try and get us a win today, please.
Ange. Sort it out, mate.
We've got 360 odd watching and only 33 likes, first of all. So that's not good enough. It's like 10% or something ridiculous. But look, I know people are saying this is meant to be a pump up, but at the same time, we can't pump up and pretend everything's all right when we're sitting in 16th place and literally can't buy a win. But I didn't get the chance to ask you, Nick, if you think, I mean, like that stat there, we've won 44 points from his past 39 league matches in charge. Do you think there's any way that Ange can repair the damage that's been done between him and the supporters?
It's going to take a hell of a lot. You know, we saw Sim finally broke. I didn't manage to break him on Thursday night, but he managed. Ben managed it on Friday to say he wanted this manager out. So I think we're just look. Everything's on Thursday, right? And I think that whoever navigates their home tie the best between us and Frankfurt will get through. I think we'll win at home, and I think they'll win at home. It just depends what that looks like. Look, there's a maximum. What is there now? There's a maximum of 24 points to play with. So, you know, I think realistically, 8 games left. We got some hard games coming up. I think what we need to see, not to change people's opinion, but to just show a bit of fight. You know, it's just a bit of fight, a bit of something that we've not seen for a long time. Yeah, even those first 10 games, we didn't really see anything. We just saw, you know, kind of something new and exciting from what we'd seen before, right? So, yeah, I just think, yeah, I don't see how he turns this around. I don't think even if we win the Europa League, which I don't think we will. Even if we do that, I don't think that will be enough. I think we're going to finish. Yeah, we win today, but I think genuinely, I think we could finish 17th with the way, you know, with the games that we've got, the teams that we're playing, and that is a you know, MD said it in the chat, biggest mismanagement of this club in Premier League history. So. Look, the title's done. Liverpool have won it. Congratulations. We had St Tottenham's Day the other day. Now we can't finish above Arsenal, so they're lording that up. All we've got to look forward to is hopefully Madrid smashing them not down the road, which I don't think they will. I think they'll get through, but you know, and yeah, just to try and see what happens in that top 4 race, but. Yeah, to not be in Europe next season is a massive disappointment. But I just want to be excited. I just want to enjoy it. I just don't, you know. But unfortunately, I think we all know what's kind of going to come, right? If we get to the first 10, 15 minutes, we don't see, you know, nothing's happening. Then the crowds start getting, you know, on the backs of the players, the manager. Then all of a sudden, players start letting it affect their game. I mean, look, we could be, you know, what were we, 2-3-0 up within 15 minutes at their place? So we kind of need to do the same thing today, right? And then we can do what we say about emptying the bench and just, but yeah, and be prepared, because 100% everyone sat behind that dugout will be getting their phones out just that spite. You know, it's like your kids, right? You tell them to do something, or not to do something, they're going to do the opposite, right? And that's exactly what he said with that. That if someone puts a phone up, well, everyone's going to get their phones.
Of course they are, 100%. But Jose, it's not all doom and gloom. Southampton have lost 10 of their last 13 Premier League games in London. Of the 13 teams to have played more than 100 away games in the capital, Southampton have lost the highest percentage, nearly 60%. It's not all doom and gloom. Tottenham have got a good record against Southampton. The last time that they beat us was 3-2 win in February 2022. You know, this should be normally in a normal season for Tottenham, even like ones that are up and down. In a normal season, we would be sitting there full of confidence that we should be going out beating them. What, you know, are you confident? I know you don't want to go too over the top, but that we've got enough there to beat Southampton comfortably, I would say.
Yeah, I'll just before I say that, can I just pick up on some points that Jim and Nick said? So Jim talked about Postecoglou. Postecoglou is a manager who gets wielded out in front of the cameras to do press conferences. However, the press know how to play Ange, and so do other people, because what they do is they'll ask him about medical issues, about injuries. He's not a medic, but they'll ask him about it. They'll ask Ange about finances. Ange is not a spreadsheet merchant. He's a football manager, but they'll ask him all these questions. And because he gets thrown in at the deep end by our cowardly owner and board, you know, that's why we don't get to see the questions answered. And everyone fires on Ange because Ange is the one that's put out the puppets put out there to answer all the questions. So that's what I'm going to say about Ange.
And I agree with that 100%, Jose. You're 100% right.
No
one else from the club comes out and speaks.
In other countries, if you're going to ask medical questions, it's not always the manager that goes out. Sometimes the coach goes out and does the presser. Sometimes the medical team will meet the press team as well and talk about medical issues. Sometimes you'll get someone from the board talking about financial issues. At Tottenham, they don't do that. They hide in their corners and they wheeled out Ange Postecoglou. And he gets so much stick and so much fun. I'm not going to tell you he's got everything right, but he gets an absolute bashing and beating from the press and from the fan base because we've got cowardly people that hide in corners. Anyway, apart from that, that's all I wanted to say on that. What I will say is that, yeah, Tottenham, if we go to the earlier game this season, we won 5-0, but we were 5-0 up at half time against Southampton. Southampton are poor home and away. They play expansive football. They're very, very open, a bit like us. I mean, they don't score goals and they concede far more than what we do. I had us to win today anyway, and that was with if you want me to call it a weakened team, a changed team, but he actually hasn't changed the team. For me, he stuck out the strongest team he can possibly stick out, albeit Van der Ven. But we know why Van der Ven's been rested. But otherwise, this is probably the strongest team that he can put out there at the moment. So for me, there is no reason why we can't go out and beat Southampton today, and comfortably. And I believe that my scoreline that I gave in my prediction show on Friday and that I will give today will probably reflect the fact that I think that we'll win this game comfortably today.
Oh,
Dr. Tottenham, stay away. You have a day off.
We're going to get a gym-like scoreline from Jose. I can feel it in my waters. But of course, like I said earlier, if we do beat them today, Southampton will officially be relegated. Will there be a Saints Day or something? Because, you know, we've relegated another team. We do it regularly. And if I'm not mistaken, Nick, you'll know this. Did Conte not quit after the Southampton game?
Yes, he did. Yeah.
He did.
Well, yeah, that was when he did his rant. That was when he did his rant, right? After we threw it away, as per usual, when we should have probably had a penalty and everything else, right? So, yeah. I mean, we relegated Leeds, I think it was. So yeah, last time. So look, I don't. You know, I think we just need to. Like we said, we just need to just get through it and just win by half time. Everyone can relax. Everyone can then get on with their day. I don't want to get to half time struggling 0-0, 1-0, 1-0, whatever. You know, we need to be leading going into half time. The sun's out, and let's make sure we have a happier day. But yeah, any other time, I think we'd say we'd absolutely walk this like we did at their place. But yeah, you never know. We like we said, we need Dr. Tottenham to stay at home today. It's
Exactly.
Sunday. No, doctors don't. Only the doctors at the hospital are working. We don't need the doctors at Dr. Tottenham to be working today.
Tottenham's 5-0 win over Southampton in December set a Premier League record, a good record at last for Ange, as they became the first side to score 5 or more goals against an opponent on 5 separate occasions. Jimbo, is there any possibility, knowing that our front line looks, or maybe doesn't look weak, but aren't really finding the back of the net, is there any possibility we can get another 5-0 today, do you reckon?
Yeah, of course we could. Southampton. It's Southampton. Of course we can beat them 5-0. We beat them 5-0 a little while ago. So, yeah, 100% we can beat them 5-0. But we could also lose 1-0.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the way this team is. But I'm going for a good win, obviously. But,
obviously, Jim, you said 4-0 against Chelsea. So, yeah, obviously, you'll be going for a good win.
I just said it. I'm going to repeat myself. I'm kind of at a loss this season. I really am. I mean, I've been saying it for a few seasons. I can't wait for next season now.
Brad, although I agree that they are fighting for their lives, it's just delaying the inevitable. They will be going down. It's just whether it's this week, next week. There's no way they're getting out of it. So, I mean, Jose, a lot of people are saying we miss Højbjerg in the middle. What's your thought? I mean, I don't think so, but a lot of people do. What's your thoughts?
Højbjerg played in a double pivot. Højbjerg wasn't a single pivot player. We don't play double pivot. We don't play single pivot. We don't play any pivot. So therefore, what would Højbjerg have added to this season? Last season, Højbjerg, I remember him being a stumbling, mumbling mess that he just kept falling over all the time, kept giving the ball away in the penalty area. You know, what we would have been found out even more with someone like Højbjerg playing, because he would have mumbled and stumbled his way through this season as well, pretty much like the team have done. I don't think that having Højbjerg at all would have made any difference in the way that we line up and the way that we play. He's gone. He's playing a lower level, not an intense. It's not as intense in France as what it is in the Premiership. So he's probably playing at a level that suits him for the style that he plays. But for Marseille, they play a double pivot, and that's what he's used to playing. He's used to playing a double pivot, someone alongside him. So yeah, I don't think he would have done much for us this season had he stayed, unfortunately. I'm not in the camp that says he would have done.
Yeah. This is, again, views for the protest that Ben from WeAreTottenhamTV is filming live. It is a good... There's Mr. Daigle. I don't know what he's got on his head, a sticker. Maybe he's trying to pretend that he's got hair. Yeah, he's changed the Tottenham sticker on his head all the way from Canada.
If you support Spurs, you've got to have no hair, look. You know, Ben, Brian...
They're having a bald
JP. Then you got the other way. You got Danny Kiriakou with the man, the flowing locks. You know, so
exactly.
I don't know. Even our fans don't know what they're doing. You know, with their hair.
No.
With their hair so.
I mean, looking at that, do you think it's a bigger turnout than last time? It looks a hell of a lot. No. It looks a lot of people.
Look, I've just seen it was on BBC and everything else, right? It said hundreds of Tottenham fans took part in the protest. There was more than hundreds there. So when they started marching, they looked like there was a few more when they got outside the clubs, you know, the kind of West Stand and everything else, right? So I don't, looking at it initially, I don't think there was more than the first one. But like I said, it's the start of the Easter holidays. People will be away. And yeah, look, it's not to knock it, but I think it's, for me, I don't think protests, you know, Daniel Levy will go when he wants to go, when he either has that number or he's done everything that he wants to do. And that's just, unfortunately, it's just a sad reality. It's not taking anything away from the people supporting and protesting, because that's their right. But you know, I don't think, let's just say if Daniel Levy was looking out from the West Stand, looking out onto the protest, I don't think he'd be worried personally. So,
but you know where they congregated and where they met though, Nick? It looked like there was a lot more people in the meeting area than what there was first time round. That's what it looked like to me earlier on, not now, but earlier on.
yeah.
So, but I agree with Nick. Nick's right. I think, you know, we have got a right to protest, but for all intents and purposes, these moguls that are billionaires, they will only leave when they want to leave. They ain't going to get pushed out. No one's ever been pushed out of their club. They've gone on their own terms. They've sold on their own terms and left on their own terms. The only thing I can say is that if all the yellow gets into the ground, because normally security like to take away all your banners and stuff, if all the yellow gets into the ground, then it'll be a picture, because a lot of yellow in the ground, because today we know that we're protesting, we're in yellow. So a lot of yellow in the crowd, that would highlight it a bit, and Levy can't get away from that. But that all depends on whether security take away the flags and stop them from taking them in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know there's obviously the stickers, there's obviously the flags, there's obviously the scarves. So look, I guess the other issue is that everyone's spread out, right? And that's the other thing, that the club know what they're doing. They don't want to have big groups congregating together because they can do something like that, you know. So look, it'll be interesting to see what happens throughout the game. Normally with the away games, you know, we can hear the away fans. It's whether or not we'll be able to hear the home fans. And you know, again, it'll be, it's you know, the away fans, the atmosphere is a lot better than it is with the home fans. And look, if a lot of people aren't going in this time, I know a lot of people will be going in, but I know a lot of people that aren't going in this time, whether they're going in or not. It'll be interesting to see how, you know, how it comes across either on the TV or media or everything else, right? So let's wait and see. But yeah, you can attribute what happened at Man United with the Glazers. They didn't sell because there was that protest. Ashley didn't sell at Newcastle because of the Newcastle fans. So I think it's very short-sightedness to think that, you know, even if there was 50,000, I don't think it'd make a difference, because what you see from the away fans and fans on social media is not replicated in the fans in the stadium, the fans that aren't those things, because you talk to them, they think Ange is great, they think Levy's amazing, and they think that there's nothing wrong. You know, and that's where it's hard to do it, because then people just go, oh, there's 1,000 people there. So yeah, but look, let's we need a win today. That's the most important thing, regardless of what's happening off the pitch, on the pitch, whatever. 3 points is a must, and a performance, because it'd be nice to actually, you know, it'd be nice to actually not have our phones and being bantered by the fans come 4 o'clock, because it's probably the most underwhelming Sunday football, right? Because you've got the Manchester derby, which is probably the worst Manchester derby out of, you know, the way that both teams are playing at the moment. And there you go. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, the bookmakers have got us a massive favourites, 4-11. The draw's 4-1. Southampton are 13-2 or 6.5-1. So the bookmakers certainly fancy Spurs, but then we all know that really doesn't mean anything.
We won't lose today. We won't.
Oh my God, I'm clipping that just in case, Jimbo. You know you're getting clipped if we do.
What was that, Jimbo?
Yeah.
we will not. We will not lose today. We won't.
I just really hope if we score, Ange doesn't do any ear cupping until VAR has made a decision on the goal. That's my big hope today. Jay Murray says, today's a good day. We will smash Southampton 6-1. And my home hasn't been destroyed by tornado, so it's all good over here. Stay safe. I know there's a lot of weather issues all over the place. I mean, there's storms at Tottenham, cha-ching, but there's actual real weather issues everywhere. So stay safe wherever you are. The last meetings, Tottenham have won 46, 22 draws, 27 Southampton wins. Everything is pushing to a Spurs win. But I want to know in the chat what you think the score will be, who will score the goals. Hopefully they will be Tottenham goals rather than Southampton goals. Let us know in the chat and we'll get through as many as we can. Nick, what's your thoughts on this game? Are you going for a Jim and a Jose massive score?
Well, I said on Friday 3-1, right? So I think that they will score, and I think it will be. I don't think it'll be a comfortable 3-1, but like I said, if there's anything that we need to, if we're thinking about looking forward to Thursday, get it done by half time, get it finished, and then let's just empty the bench and then just relax. I think that's what we need to do. Yeah, that's what we need to do.
Oh, fair enough. Apparently we're frauds, and one day this guy's going to come on and put us to blast. Well, there you go. Look forward to that day. I don't think it's a case on hating managers. I think it's just a case of speaking about what's in front of your eyes. Chill Champ says 5-0 Spurs. We were like last time. Oh, he's gone up 6-0 Spurs. Bloody hell, he's getting up by the minute. Let's Dragon guys says 4-1 Spurs. Madders, Brennan Johnson with 2 and Porro with 1. Madders actually scored a brace in the last game and Brennan scored as well, I believe. 4-0 first half says triple. I will roll with 1-0 Tottenham. Look, I'll take it, but it'll be nerve-wracking. 6-0 says Chill Champ. Yep, that's right. We are fairly toothless. 1-0. Sonny's actually not starting. Is he starting? Yes, he is starting.
Yeah,
what am I talking about? Yeah, I didn't have him in my team to start, but he is starting, so I'll shut up. But yeah, Madders and Son better show something today. 4-0. Sonny with 3. Madders with 1. Wow. 3-2 Spurs. Solanke scores at last. Oh, please. If we play toothless like we have recently, we'll bore us all with a 2-0. I'll take a boring 2-0. Yeah, I'm quite happy to hug trees and live with the fairies, though. That's a nice place to be. 3-1 Spurs. We need a win or Ange could be gone. Another 3-1. 4-0. 1-0 will look like a defeat for us, even if we win. Johnson scores a brace. 3-1. Lots of 3-1s. And a 2-0. Jose, what's your thoughts?
I'm just it's interesting because you've got quite a few people that are leaving their scores that are in the chat that do my predictions, like the people on the screen at the moment. So I know all your scores already, and I was just trying to see whether people would change their prediction from what they gave on Friday, but no, they're running with it anyway. For me, Nick said 3-1. 3-1 ain't no small scoreline. That's a big scoreline. So 3-1 is a big scoreline. My prediction for today, as I gave Friday, this is a much stronger team than what I anticipated going out today. But I predicted 4-0 on Friday. I'm sticking with it because that's what I predicted Friday. But it could be more. That's all I'm going to say.
Wow.
It could be more.
4-0 for Jose. Wow.
We turn up. It could be more.
Drew Lala, he said 3-1 Son with a Solanke brace. Another 3-1 for Guido. 6-0. And Ange cupping his ears.
Imagine if we win 6-0 and Ange does the truffle shuffle in front of the South stand at the end of the game.
Do you know what? That'll make my year. Don't matter how bad this season's been. That'll make my
Ange
year.
doing the truffle shuffle. Yeah.
Jacob Farrell says 4-1 Spurs. Hotspur State of Mind says 4-1 Spurs. There's a lot of big score lines coming out, really, when you think we haven't been scoring loads of goals. Another 5-0. Why so many 3-1s? That's why I say 3-2. Solanke 1 goal. Another 5-0. 2-1. Brennan 2 goals. Look, I've gone with a 2-1, much like Marco. I think it will be a close game. I think it'll be nerve-wracking because that's all we ever have, nerve-wracking games. I think Brennan will score 1 and I think Solanke will get the other. That's my little theory. Jose, was you going to say something then?
I was just going to say, although I said 4-0, what I would really, really hope for is a Solanke hat-trick.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
But please feed him. Please pass the bloody ball to him in the box don't make him run back to our edge of our box to start doing your groundwork and your donkey work for you. Set the bloody player up. And if you set him up, he'll score goals for us, which we don't set him up. I'd love him to score a hat-trick today. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, we've got Paul saying 1-2 loss. Jimbo, any dreams? You know, you had this 3-0 at half time.
Oh, yeah, here we go. Yeah, yeah. What dream did you have this week, Jimbo? 3-0 up at half time against Chelsea. Yeah, yeah. That worked out.
I did have a dirty dream. I had a dirty dream about Kate. That was
but we want to know your football dreams.
We want to know your footballing dreams. No, sorry, Jimbo, your footballing nightmares. Sorry, it's not a dream because it never comes true.
I haven't had any football ones, so I haven't.
Well, that's probably a good thing because, you know, your last dream was a million miles away. So that's probably a good thing. Kelly says, we've got no hope. Spurs nil, Southampton 2.
Oh, Kelly.
Son, Madison, Solanke and Johnson 4-0. When people say we've got no hope, I kind of get this knot in my stomach because I think, oh, God, if we do lose to these, it's going to be horrendous.
If we lose to Southampton, I'm turning my phone off.
I'm turning my YouTube channel off. I don't know about anything else.
Everything off.
Question panels. What happens if Southampton somehow draws or wins? Is it just who you are? Well, I think we've just all said we're turning everything off.
Yeah.
Look, what can we do? This league season has been an absolute horrendous.
Shambles.
I don't know what to say. It's just been a disaster. Leave Jimbo alone. He's the most coyed. Yes, because he's delightfully deluded, is our Jimbo.
And do you know what, Kate? I want to say, right? Someone put in the chat earlier about hating managers. I don't hate Ange at all. Not at all. Do you know what? I'd love him to go on a run and we win all our last games of the season. We'll win the Europa Cup. And next season, they keep him and he takes us forward. I'd love to see that more than anything. And I think everyone else would. But you've got to be realistic, you know.
I'd love to see us win.
I don't hate him at all, and I want to see him succeed.
Well, on that bombshell, Jim, I don't hate him. I want to see him succeed for this season. But what's your prediction for the score, Jimbo, and the goal scorers?
Well, I had in my head 4-1, and I've been saying 4-1 all week, but I'm going to go 5-0. I think we're going to go out and batter them. I really do. I think we'll come out there today at home in front of the fans, and I think we'll bash them up 5-0. I'm going.
Oh, Jimbo's going for world peace there. Jimbo's going for a big score as predicted. Let's Dragon agrees with you. A draw or loss to Southampton means one of the worst trios of relegated teams in Premier League history would have gotten results at Spurs.
Yeah.
Ange's many things, but is that on Ange? I think players can just walk away sometimes without criticism, but a lot of it's got to go on the manager. He doesn't seem to be able to get the players riled up. I mean, I saw a tweet today that said that he is despised by the players and everyone at the ground. I don't know if it's true, but there's definitely a disconnect there somewhere. And I think he's got to take his portion of the blame, same as the players, same as Levy. Everybody needs to.
Yeah, they all need to take a slice of the pie.
Yeah.
It just depends how much of a slice they want and whether they're at a buffet or whether or not they're getting an entree, you know, or a main course, you know.
Very nicely put there, Nicholas, and making me feel hungry as well.
And the thing is, mate, you've got to look at the history of the club, right, over the last...
It's the history of the Tottenham.
Of the last so many years, right? It's like a cycle. What is it, every single manager? Of course it's not. It's more than the manager at this club.
Yeah, exactly. Should players really need to be fired up? They're adults and professionals. They aren't children. No, I know, but it's always the same thing. If there's a bad feeling in the dressing room, the morale drops, you know. Enjoy the game, Leo. That's coming to the end of the show. Sorry, I was just thinking about El Coquerel there. Jose, thank you as always for being a panelist. What's coming up over on El Coquerel?
I've got the predictions show coming up at the end of the week, and I've got my weekly show with Chang, talking all things Tottenham. We had the show this morning. We talked the things that have happened in the previous week. People tend, for me, I said on my show this morning, and I'll say it again now, is that back in the day when a football match finished, or when you were talking and you're bantering other people, you would talk about it, but you never ever bought a spreadsheet or a ream of paperwork with you to go and meet your mates and have a chat about football. Football was just what it was. It was a conversation. And you never repeat the same conversation on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, like every day of the week. Social media has taken a lot of fun and enjoyment of being a fan away from me. And, you know, it's just nice. I do my show with Chang. We talk about what's happened in the previous 7 days. And, you know, I don't come up with facts and spreadsheets and stuff like that. So I quite enjoy doing all that. And I just think that a lot of football and a lot of the stuff that goes on has been taken way out of proportion because of social media. I'm off next week from work. I've got a week off, so I will be doing a lot more next week. So if you fancy something different, come over to El Cockerel.
Yeah, there you go. Is it El Cockerel? I thought it was El Cockerel.
Yeah, El Cockerel, sorry.
I was going to say, have I been saying it wrong all this time?
No, you said it right. I just sounded a bit Londonish when I just said it. El Cockerel. Yeah. Sorry. I need to start talking like a southerner again.
Yeah, you do. Emerson Royale, #1 fan. Anything coming up for you, Nick?
Well, it all started with him going, Kate. I don't want to state the obvious. You know, same thing happening at Milan. He's not playing, and they're falling down the table. So you know, just who we are. But yeah, no, nothing coming up really. But yeah, Sim and Marlon will be doing the watch along.
Marlon.
So yeah, Sim managed to find someone. Otherwise, I'd have been there giving him hell again.
Bless him. We love him and his deluded opinions. God
so what are you
bless
saying, that Marlon's going to let him off?
Marlon will put it in a more diplomatic way. I just go straight at him. There's no filter here. I'm like, so come on, Sim, are you saying it? Just say it, mate. Yeah. Stop beating around the bush. Whereas Marlon will say it in a nicer way. But he said it now. Sim's in the mud. We'll all be in the mud for something we say anyway. So, but yeah, like and subscribe to Kate and Jim, and to Mr. Cockerel as well. Yeah, so we'll just let's just hope half an hour till kickoff. Let's hope we put on a performance and we can enjoy the rest of our Sunday.
Exactly. Jimbo and I catch us lunchtimes over at Kate and Jimbo. We try not to be too depressed over there. Well, Jim won't allow us to be depressed because he thinks that Tottenham are going to beat everyone 5-0. So, you know, there's no time for doom and gloom when Jimbo's around. But yeah, do make sure you please do subscribe to us, to El Cockerel. Jose, you must be getting close to the 1,000 now, Jose.
No, I haven't moved. I haven't moved in weeks and months. I haven't moved at all.
He's banned a load of people. That's why he's kicked them out. He was on 999. He's got rid of 300 because they're upsetting him. It's gone backwards.
Please, everyone, go over and sub to Jose. Get him up to 1,000. Bless him.
Yeah, do it. It's free.
Do it. Yeah, it is free, and it's a nice thing to do.
Yeah,
but
and we put our faces and our opinions out for this. You know. We
get
clips out. I mean, we know what Jimbo does. Jimbo does it, and we just laugh at him. But you know, some of us know about football. Not me. I'm not saying it's me, by the way. Probably these two on the left or right or whatever they're looking at. Me and Jimbo haven't got a clue. So. But
yeah, look, enjoy the game. Thanks everyone for watching. Jimbo's laughing.
Yeah, but if you're in a deluded world, Kate, it's a nicer world than being in the real world. I'm sorry, but it is.
True. This is true. Ben, no, not Ben. Sim and Marlon will be on after this, so you can stay where you are and you'll be directed. Jim, you want to finish the show?
Yeah, we're going to... I nearly swore. I won't swear.
Don't swear.
Channel. We're going to smash them 5-0. Right? Get behind them. Right? We might see a bit of cupping today, which would be absolutely excellent. So come on, you Spurs. Let's go and smash these toss balls.